Ventura, Ron Paul, Dave Mustaine, Willie Nelson, and the list goes on and on. Charlie Sheen has his problems, but he's a real guy, a great guy. The problem is, though, about 90% of the famous people I know and who are listeners of the show do not want it said they're listeners. And if I could only tell you, who else are patriots out there? Basically, pick a famous name. I mean, I've heard from most of them. It's ridiculous how hot liberty is. And I'm not the best at this radio show. I'm just a regular guy. But I'm the biggest thing there is out there. And so I'm the one that gets reached out to. They feel like they've got to knock on wood or something, and I'm the wood they knock on. Or they want to just reach out and say, like what you're doing, agree with you. And it's great, but I'm not bragging, hey, I know a lot of famous people, or hey, I'm saying, like a sonar ping, you aren't a public figure. Most of you aren't. So you don't know. You feel like you're alone. But I can go to Los Angeles. I can go to Canada. I can go to Hot Springs, Arkansas. I can go to Honduras. I can go to Mexico. And I can't even walk down a street now without cars stopping. I mean, it's big. Liberty is big. Freedom is popular. And I'm just telling you, the last domino to fall is that we still feel like we're alone and powerless. No, ladies and gentlemen, freedom is on fire right now. Alex Jones here with vital information concerning our nation's fragile food supply. Folks, there are some truly dangerous trends forming, and I think it's important for my listeners to do three things right away. Number one, study the past. History really does repeat itself. Number two, learn to spot the dangerous food shortage trends. Number three, take decisive action. A perfect storm is brewing for a global food crisis. That's why I'm telling everyone to read the new book, Rising Prices, Empty Shelves. Warning signs that trigger the deadliest famines in history. Don't get caught unprepared when the crisis hits. This book is only available at risingpricesemptyshelves.com. You'll also get a free copy of Supermarket Survival, How to Cut Your Grocery Bills in Half. Again, that website is risingpricesemptyshelves.com. That's risingpricesemptyshelves.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs Generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs Generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs Generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs Generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
here, ladies and gentlemen. It is the third and final hour today, but we won't be done then. I'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock, InfoWars at Nightly News. We have a big blind spot on this show that I've warned everybody about, that I try to stay conscious of. And it's this. I don't have follow-through in one key area that I should. I have doggedness. I'm badger-like. I keep on coming. I'm hard-headed. That's the main attribute for liberty. I know you as Americans and many others around the world, you know, also cherish that attribute. But I have a tendency not to toot our horn. I have a bad tendency not to toot our horn. And it's important to do that. That's why a few weeks ago I launched a contest and never really gave a date on it. I've got to go see what entries have come in. I know a bunch are coming in for clipping together clips of the show the last few years of our predictions coming true. And first place is $3,000, second place $1,500, third place $500. Because nothing wakes people up, I've seen, like us laying it out and then it coming out mainstream news later. Again, it's not, hey, I go all over the country and people know who I am now and support us. That's not, ooh, look, I'm a big shot. It's actually really gives up your privacy. It's, hey, people are waking up. This show is popular. That's an illustration of that. Well, it's the same thing when it comes to pointing out that, see, we told you so. And that goes for you, the listeners, as well. How many of you told your wife, your husband, your neighbor, your boss, your employees, your grandmother, your son, your daughter, whoever it is, your pastor, or as a pastor, you told your flock, you told them what was coming, you told them what was happening, they laughed at you, and now all this stuff has come true. It's all happened and then some, exactly as we said it would, because we were reading globalist documents. We were just going off what they said they would do as global engineers, global social and economic engineers for this world government system. Now, our credibility's gone way up. Liberty and freedom and understanding the global corporate crony system is very popular. I see it on CNN, Fox, Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, everywhere now. I tune into random radio shows, liberal, conservatives, rock and roll shows. They're talking about the crony capitalist and the insider fat cats having one set of rules for us, another set of rules for them. People are really getting it. And now it's important to go, hey, Ron Paul talked about this stuff 20 years ago. Alex Jones talked about this stuff 16 years ago. G. Edward Griffin talked about this 45 years ago. Bob Chapman 50 years ago. Hey, have you seen this book? Have you seen this video? Because it's all that old stuff now that is the most important. Now, I got callers listening on XM, on the Roku box, on AM and FM affiliates. We're going to get to Madison, Peter, Scott, Bill, Norm, and others here in just a moment. But I've got to go over this because the establishment bleeding out, encrusted, disease, discredited joke media is very dangerous right now. They are flailing around in their death throes and can take us down with them right now. We have got to sit back when they call us names and laugh at us and go, you're doing that as a confidence game. You're pathetic. You're falling apart. And call them on their scams and be more bold now than ever. A lot of us have kind of started resting like, oh, okay, people are finally listening. No. This is not the time to do that. This is the time to come out and stop being apologetic to your neighbors. Well, I know it sounds kooky, but there's a global government. It's not kooky that elites want total power. That's history. It's now time to say, hey, we told you so. Look, it came true. We warned you, and there's not time to screw around. We told you the house was on fire when the grease pan exploded and there was just some smoke in the kitchen. We tried to put it out. Now it's spread into the dining room, the living room, the bedroom. There's flames coming out the windows. You're not going to save this thing. You got to get out of it and try to rebuild it. Now there's fire shooting out everywhere, and we're like, we told you there's fire, and they're still going, are you sure that orange stuff that's hot and that smoke is tyranny? I'm not sure. And you're like, well, just forget these people that don't care, don't want to listen. We can't do that. They're lemmings that'll run us off the cliff with them that the globalists are going to be able to misdirect if we don't reach out to them now. It's just that simple. And for all of you that serve the system, as what we've talked about becomes self-evident, and as it's proven that we were right and that we were willing to be criticized in the face of all your propaganda and demonization, including law enforcement harassment, as it becomes evident that we're right, a lot of you aren't waking up and joining Liberty. You're deciding to further dig in and make excuses and go along with corruption. Do you like where corruption's taking us? The country falling apart, the world falling apart, crime exploding, insecure future? I mean, do you like that? Do you like the wages of this corruption? Do you like the fruit of this tree? I mean, I'm going to ask you, do you like where it's taking us? Come on in. It's warm in here. Join us. You know you want to. Don't be afraid of Big Brother and the tyrants. That's what's fun, is to put yourself in danger, because you were already in danger. If we're going to die, then we're going to die. If we're going to die, then die with our boots on. In fact, I want to come back in. You can probably find it on YouTube, or we may even have it in there in our music selection. I want Iron Maiden, Die With Your Boots On. I want to come back in with that. I'm about to go to your calls. My point on this issue is that you're not alive till you're living true and being honorable. Doesn't mean you're perfect, but you're not living like a coward. Like Kurt Haskell, I said, you know, you've got this info and you're exposing they staged that attack. They may kill you. And he said, well, they can only kill me once. Whatever, fine. I don't want to die, but that's the way it is. And it's just that giving in to it, giving in to being a man, giving in to being a woman, giving in to who you already were. You have to have cowardice and fear superimposed on you in life. You have to learn to be a coward. You don't have to learn how to be brave. You're standing on the shoulders of your ancestors. They weren't wimps. Cowardice is a fraud and a lie, and it doesn't get you out of trouble. Cowardice brings the wolves. You ought to be afraid of being a coward. I've always said this, and people don't seem to get it. I am not trying to scare you with a show. I believe in you. I believe you have courage. I believe when you hear how bad things are, you're going to get angry and do something about it. I believe in you. People will give us every answer, like coloring with, by the numbers. My kids love those. Or stained glass by the numbers or whatever. I don't have all the answers. I believe in you. I know every time I start fighting corruption and don't stop, we win. I know how powerful humans are, made in the image of the Creator. I suggest we use that power. The globalists know how powerful you are. That's why they jack your water and your food. You're powerful. They don't like you. They realize a small group of conspirators took over the world. They realize we're a lot more than them, and we can take this world back. Now, what made me go on this rant? Then I'm going to your calls. What made me go on this rant? I saw this yesterday. I covered it on the nightly news, and then I didn't even cover it today in 2 hours. AP, Reuters, Fox News, they all covered it. Here's Fox News, Fox Nation. This didn't even go on the main Fox site. It went on their little Tea Party site, their little InfoWars ripoff. Taxpayers paid for Fast and Furious. And it tells us what we already knew from federal filings in Arizona and Illinois, that the government actually sold the guns, in one case, 2,000 of them to Sinaloa drug cartel. Now, last night on the show, I showed you the El Paso Times, UPI, and others, where it was known months ago. And, of course, we knew even before that from the filings. Prison Planet did break this. Just from the federal filings. Listeners broke it. They found it and sent it to us. Listeners broke it. But we broke it in the media, again, showing how you are the power. People always ask, why aren't you covering this? Because I didn't know till you told me. I also get emails and comments why I'm not covering the Wall Street thing. I've covered it every day for a week and a half with guests on many times. And it's still going on. The arrests are still going on. And folks, it's great what they're doing. They're protesting. Now, what Fox doesn't tell you, you'd think Fox would want to bring down Obama. No, it's all about a balance of power in the elite. Is that Sinaloa also confirmed in federal court, and the feds admitted it, is allowed to ship in for 5 years hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tons of pure cocaine through Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Sinaloa is on the border and teamed up with the bankers and is fighting a war with other cartels that are bringing the drugs up and have to go through Sinaloa territory, and that our government, which is the big foreign banks, the criminals, are laundering that money publicly and having the ATF ship guns